Students, today we are going to see lesson number 2.2 of standard 7, the souvenir. We all like to go for trip with family and friends, but the most awaited trip for you is the trip with school friends. So today we are going to see the story of Siley's trip to a place which she had only seen in her imagination, watching pictures and videos and reading books. Now she has got a chance to visit moon. So let's read the exciting story by Lakshman Londe from Bait. With the tip of her nose pressed to the window of a space shuttle, Siley sat gazing at the view outside for so long. Still, she did not seem to be contented. Children, the meaning of souvenir here is some event which reminds you somewhere you had been on holiday. And gazing means to look steadily for long time. Contented means satisfied. She had read the description of this view several times before and had seen this scene on the video too. But this was different. Reading the description was one thing. Watching the pictures and videos captured by a camera was another, but getting an opportunity to view that amazing panorama with your own eyes, being present physically right in the midst of it, was indeed an out of world experience. Students, panorama means a very wide view, and out of the world means not found on the earth and also extraordinary. No matter how long she sat gazing, her awe and wonder did not seem to abate. Awe means fear and abate means did not become less. The earth gradually appeared to get smaller and smaller in the sky. The azure blue sky was now looking jet black. Means as she went nearby the sky in the space, she was looking the sky turning black. The clouds had disappeared. The stars were shining bright. This trip to the moon was exorbitantly expensive, but still Siley's mother had sent her on the trip. Exorbitantly means highly excessive and expensive. But then also Siley's mother sent her for the trip. In our childhood, we could not even think of such long distance trips. The longest trip meant going to Europe. If you are getting this opportunity, make the most of it, said Mummy. Now mother is saying to Siley that if you are getting a chance to go to the moon, you go, because in our days we used to go only till Europe, not such long trips. Oh Mummy, Neha's grandmother was saying that in her childhood the longest trip for school children used to be only up to Delhi or Calcutta. It seems so funny, isn't it? Said Siley laughing. Remembering the incident made her laugh even now. Now it was a conversation between Mummy and Siley. And then mother is telling we did not have a chance to go so long. So you don't miss the chance. And then Siley is telling Neha's grandmother also said that they used to go only till Delhi and Calcutta. And it was funny for her to hear. Now the shuttle was getting closer and closer to the moon. They were travelling by the shuttle. Then it started orbiting. Orbiting means moving round about the moon. In every 32 minutes, the shuttle completed one revolution round the moon. In every 32 minutes, one round was finished. Light and darkness followed each other in quick succession. Succession means one after the other. The dome-shaped settlements on the moon, which resembled the igloos of the Eskimos, were not visible. After some time, Siley's shuttle made a slow, measured and safe landing on the moon. Now, after travelling the space, they at last landed to the moon. The door of the shuttle was opened and the children were escorted. Escorted means landed safely through an airtight tunnel to the settlement at the Neil Armstrong Base. The place there was called Neil Armstrong Base and the students were landed there for the trip. The receptionist at the entrance to the base gave some instructions at a very outset. I welcome you all to the Neil Armstrong Base. To make your stay on the moon pleasant and comfortable, I would like you to take certain precautions. Precautions means care. These all was told by the receptionist who received the children on the moon. And she wanted to give some instructions to them. Listen carefully to my instructions and please follow them during your stay. You know that the gravitational force of the moon is 1/6 that of the earth. In the human settlement on the moon, a gravitational force equivalent to that of the earth has been artificially maintained. But outside those settlements, the gravitational force of the moon is at work. Means she wanted to tell that inside the place where they are going to stay, there the gravitational force is maintained according to the earth's level. But outside that dome shaped, there was a shape given for the maintenance of the gravitational force. And outside that shape, the gravitational force was according to the moon's atmosphere. Moon is at work. You will have to be extremely careful when you roam around there. The second point to remember is related to shopping on the moon. Now she is telling about shopping on the moon. You all must be interested in carrying souvenirs back home from the moon. Now it is obvious when we go somewhere, we purchase some things from there and take it back to home. So she is telling that you might be busy. You might be wanting to take many souvenirs, means things from the moon. Please buy the articles only from the shops which are inside the dome shaped settlements. She is requesting children that you buy the articles which are inside the dome shapes. Don't go to buy it from the outside shops because they will not be worth for you. There you will be assured of genuine article. Assured means you will be confident that the articles are good to use. Do not buy anything from unauthorized shops outside the settlement. Unauthorized means without permission, the shops which are not permitted. I wish you a very happy and pleasant stay at moon. A jam-packed 3 days program awaited the children on the moon. Jam-packed means already fully planned. According to the Earth's calculation, on the moon there are 15 days of daylight and 15 days of night time. According to the Earth's calculation, means as a people calculate that, they say that on moon 15 days are of daylight and 15 days are of night time. The 3 days of the trip were going to be a part of night time on the moon. Now the children, they had gone there for 3 days, and that 3 days they had caught of the night time. One of the most important program of the first day was sky watch, means watching the sky. On the earth, it was usually foggy. Foggy means, foggy is a word, it is related to the weather. And the stars were seen rarely and only very faintly. Faintly means dim. They were seen dim. There was no atmosphere on the moon. It was not atmosphere, it was normal only. On the dark background of the moon sky, the stars shone dazzling bright. Stars were shining bright. The most attractive view was that of the disk of the earth. The disk of the earth in the moon sky, the earth looked 13 times bigger than the moon in the earth sky. If we see earth from the moon sky, it looks 13 times bigger. It was also 70 times brighter. The earth light fell on the moon. This beautiful, enchanting view made Siley and her friends ecstatic. Enchanting means attractive and ecstatic means extremely happy. They fell asleep feeling happy, excited and comfortable at the same time. They were feeling sleepy also because they were very tired watching the sky. The second day's attraction was a circus on the moon. One unique feature of the circus was the sitting arrangement. Now children are going to see circus on the second day and they had got a special sitting arrangement. The spectators were made to sit in the tent and the circus was going on outside. Spectators means audience. High jumps and long jumps were the special attractions. One gymnast jumped 27 meters high. Here, audience were made sit inside the tent and the circus was going on outside the tent. And one gymnast jumped 27 meters high. On both the days, beside the main attractions, much time was reserved for visiting the various settlements there. Now they were visiting the various settlements with various places there. It was expected that the students should spend some time for self-study. the teacher had assigned them the task of writing an essay on how they spend their time on moon. Children were assigned means they were given a work that they were going to write an essay. How did they spend the time on the moon? Which places they visited, what they observed, etc. Siley and her friends had travelled far and wide and had done a lot of sightseeing. Now Siley and her friends had travelled very far and wide and they had done lots of sightseeing. On the third day, the teacher took them to a place of historical importance. On the third day, they were going to see a place of historical importance. 100 years ago, Neil Armstrong had landed at this place. We all know that Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon. Everyone was looking forward to this visit to the historical monument. It was the oldest place in the history of man on the moon. It was the oldest place in the history of a man on the moon where Neil Armstrong has landed first time. The first footprint of Neil Armstrong was preserved on the moonland. Now the first footprint which the Neil Armstrong had kept there, it was preserved. Preserved means to keep something safe. Beside the footprint was a grand statue of Armstrong. There was a grand statue of Armstrong. At the base of the statue were carved the first words uttered by a human on the moon. The first step and the first words were carved on the footprints of the statue. Carved means written. One small step for a man, one giant leap of mankind. This was written there. One small step for a man, one giant leap of mankind. The next attraction for the children was they were going to wear the space suits for the first time. Then they were going to roam outside experiencing the gravitational force of the moon. Now they are going out of the dome shape that was instructed by the receptionist. So they were going to wear space suits and then they are sent out. Be careful when you walk, dear children. Don't run or sprint, you will fall. The teacher was warning repeatedly. But who was in the mood to listen? They hopped, jumped and ran around. It is always when teacher instructs something, when you go for a trip, children are not ready to listen. They will do whatever they want. The same case Siley and her friends were doing. Their teacher was repeatedly instructing them, but they were hopping, jumping and running around. Buy ornaments specially made from stones on the moon, very cheap, cheaper than those available in the shops in the settlements. Cheaper and better. At least have a look. The roadside shopkeepers screamed at the top of their voice. When they were roaming out, the shopkeepers outside were shouting, take our ornaments, they are made up of stone. Try once, take it once. They were requesting and shouting. Buy sister, buy. I am selling these earrings really cheap. And they used to say that I am selling the earrings cheap. Saying this, he approached Siley and displayed the set of shining stone earrings. Now, after seeing the roadside Siley and her friends were roaming, one shopkeeper approached to Siley and he said, please buy this shining stone earring. Siley suddenly remembered her mother. Tomorrow they were to start on their return journey. Now Siley remembered that I have not taken anything for my mother. Tomorrow we are going back. She had completely forgotten her mother in the last 3 days. She felt terribly guilty. Terribly guilty means very bad. Buy this sister, don't think much cheaper and better. Take it. Siley looked around. The other children had proceeded ahead. Now she wanted to buy as she remembered her mother, but other children had moved ahead. Come on, give me those red earrings quick. Siley is saying to the shopkeeper, give me that red earrings quickly. I want to go. Siley pointed at them and asked, what's the price? Only 1,000 rupees, replied the salesman. Siley immediately paid the amount, took the earrings and ran to catch up with her friends. Now she was left behind. So she took the earrings fast, she paid the money and she ran to catch the friends. On returning home, Siley told her mother very enthusiastically. Enthusiastically means with great excitement. Mummy, look what I have brought for you. Her mother picked up the earrings. She exclaimed, hello dear, how am I going to wear such heavy earrings? Siley immediately realized her mistake. Siley had purchased the earrings in the field of the moon's gravity. So she had purchased the earrings outside the dome shape. So they were very heavy on the earth. She has purchased that on the moon's gravity. So as she brought them to the earth, They were very heavy.